You're listening to the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show with your hosts, the Fantasy Insider, Matt Brick, the Commish, Henry Brick, and the Doctor, Jeff Hathcott.
Welcome in. You are listening to the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. I am Matt Brick, your host, and I'm also with the Commish, Henry Brick. How are we doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing great. I want to take this time to congratulate the doctor. Had a little man-child, little Cooper. We welcome him to the Kick-Ass Fantasy Show family. We're real happy for him. I know he's home now, and they're adjusting with the new baby and everything. So we wish him lots of love and a wonderful Thanksgiving for sure.
All right, let's get straight into the news. Big week this past week, and we have another big one upcoming. So, injuries. T. Higgins was ruled out with a concussion. Keep an eye on that. Michael Mayer was ruled out with an ankle injury. Alvin Kamara was ruled out with a knee injury. Now, I've heard that it could be a sprain of his MCL or his PCL, so that's going to be that could be huge. So keep an eye on that. Aaron Rodgers is slated to play this week, even though he has his left wrist injury. Baker Mayfield was ruled out with a left shoulder injury on Sunday Night Football. And Dameon Pierce has signed with the Chiefs practice squad. And one of the best news this week is that there are no buys this week. Every team is playing this week, so we get to watch a lot of football.
Yes. Also, Ashton Genty has an ankle. He may miss this week, by the way. So something to keep an eye on as the Sunday gets closer.
All right, let's go right into our stardom segment. Commish, why don't you go first?
All right, you got it. I love Bo Nix this week playing the Commanders. They're coming off a bye, and guess what? The Commanders give up the fourth most passing yards and fantasy points to the QB. So Bo Nix is an awesome start this week, not only in daily fantasy, DFS, everything. Your regular, you get him in there. Tyrone Tracy, this one's for the doctor, the big Giants fan. He goes up against the Pats on Monday Night Football. No Milton Williams for the Pats is huge. They just gave up 107 rushing yards to Chase Brown and the Bengals. And Tracy's certainly emerging as the lead back. He got 20 carries last week compared to 11 carries with Devin Singletary. So Tyrone Tracy, that's a good start. I like the whole Monday Night Football thing. Guys get up for that game historically, right? And guess what? Bo Nix has to throw the ball to somebody. It's his favorite guy who's thrown to in college, Troy Franklin. The Commanders give up the third most fantasy points to the wide receiver, which gives you a great stack this week, especially in the DFS with Bo Nix. So that's what I got. Matt, what do you got?
All right, this week I have Travion Henderson. He goes up against the New York Football Giants on Monday Night Football. The Giants have allowed 267 fantasy points to running backs there, so that makes them the 31st in the league. I really like this matchup for Travion Henderson. I think he'd have a great game, so start Travion Henderson. Next, I have Travis Etienne going up against the Titans. There's nothing better than a divisional matchup on Sunday. The Titans have allowed 223 fantasy points against running backs, which is 29th in the league. These teams haven't played each other yet, and I expect the Jags to run the ball more. So that's why I like Travis Etienne's matchup there. And lastly, I have Khalil Shakir. I like the matchup for Khalil Shakir, who plays the Steelers this week, but I will really like it more if Keon Coleman can play some football. He's been benched the past 2 weeks. I think he creates and helps with some separation. So I will be keeping an eye on that. That being said, the Steelers are 30th against the wide receiver in fantasy points allowed. They've allowed 252 fantasy points to wide receivers, and I think the Bills come back after a tough loss to the Texans on Thursday Night Football last week. All right, let's go into Sid'em. I'll start it off. You said to start Tyron Tracy. I'm saying to sit Tyron Tracy this week. He goes up against the Patriots on Monday Night Football. I know you say that that's when guys tend to go off, but the Patriots' rush defense is still the best in the league in fantasy, at least. They've allowed 117 fantasy points to running backs, which is number one. I think it will be a tough time to run the ball for the Giants on Monday Night Football. And yeah, I'm pretty sure the Patriots have only allowed two or three rushers over 50 yards this year. So they're a pretty solid rushing defense. Next, you're going to want to bench all Raiders wide receivers. Not only does Geno Smith, he's terrible, but they have a tough matchup against the Chargers coming off of a bye. The Chargers have allowed 155 fantasy points to wide receivers, which is the second best in the league. So if you have Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton Jr., or Jack Besh, you're going to want to look somewhere else at wide receiver this week. Lastly, you are going to want to sit Colston Loveland this week. He goes up against my Birds on Black Friday. The Eagles have allowed 42 fantasy points to tight ends, which is second in the league. I'd also bench Cole Kmet too. Eagles are just great against the tight end. All right, Mish, what do you got for me?
Birds. Listen, I'm with you with the Pats and everything. But here, like I said, Milton Williams is out. And I think that's why Chase Brown had success. So that's why I think Tyron Tracy is going to have success. All right. I'm a big sit for my guy. Let me tell you, this guy, I have him in several leagues. I'm in they call it the big boy league, 32-man league I'm in. I've only lost twice. Once was Danny Dimes' bye week. Sadly, he's a sit this week for me, going up against the Texans, who just held the MVP of last year, Josh Allen, to just 10 fantasy points. That defense is deadly versus the quarterback. So hopefully you have a better option at quarterback. Sadly, I don't in the big boy league, but because all the quarterbacks are taken, and you're only allowed to hold one. So is what it is, right? My second guy, you bring up the Birds, Matt. Rome Odunze versus the Birds. In his last 7 games, by the way, he's only hit 10 fantasy points. This week, he's going up against a tough D that just came off a tough loss. And I don't think it's looking too good for him, right? So hopefully you have a better option there at wide receiver. It seems like they're treating Odunze as the one and our boy DJ Moore is the two. To me, he's a better choice of receiver because he'll go up against Adoree Jackson, who's terrible on the Birds. So that's my thoughts on Odunze. Lastly, Zach Ertz versus the Broncos. The Broncos, who have one of the best pass defenses in the league, and on top, they're just not finding. On top of that, the Cardinals are not finding a way to get Ertz the ball. So hopefully you have a better option at the tight end position. That's what I got for you, Mr. Insider, sir.
Right. Yeah, I mean, with Daniel Jones, he's going up against the number one defense against quarterback and fantasy points. They also still haven't played the Texans yet this year. I looked that up as well. So this is his first time going up against Houston. It is at home for Indy, but I think Houston's going to win that game. I think that defense is going to stop that offense. So I will say on one, I think there's a caveat with this, as crazy and sad as it sounds. I think they only win if CJ Stroud is not playing this game. I think they win with Mills, not with CJ Stroud. Yeah, I think Mills he's been coming back and scoring points. So yeah. I think I mean at this point you got to win games, and I couldn't tell you their record. It's probably not a great record, but you got to win games. So. And he's winning them.
That's true. That's what it's about.
All right, let's go to the world famous Dude I'm Sorry segment. Kamish, what are you sorry for?
Man, last week I told everyone to sit Sam Darnold. What does he do? 244 yards and 2 touchdowns. For that dude, I am sorry. But on a good note, I told you to start Manny Wilson. I told you to start Mike Wilson. I told you to start Derrick Henry, Jared Goff. They all put up huge numbers, and hopefully you listen to that and it carry you to a big victory this week. I know it certainly helped me win a lot of my leagues, and shout out to the Slappy folks on FanDuel. I'm in a big DFS deal weekly. I crushed. I think I put up 193 points with most of those guys I just mentioned. So they were big point getters, especially for me this week. So Matt, what are you sorry about?
First off, I told you Sam Darnold was gonna have a good game. He is.
You did.
He's
You
excellent.
did.
So you're welcome for that.
Yes.
Last week I told you to start Kenneth Walker, who did not do exactly what I thought he would do. I think he had like 12 points. Yeah, Charbonnet vultured his touchdown. I mean, he had 11 carries for 71 yards, probably a couple catches. Nothing what I thought he was going to do. So for that, dude, I'm sorry. But I did tell you to start the Eagles wide receivers last week, who did much better than previous weeks, but just couldn't close that game out. All right, let's go into the world famous DFS lineup of the week.
And by the way, you're the five-time winner.
Five-time
in a
winner
DFS,
in the EFFL DFS.
DFS,
official.
which is strong.
I got
man.
over the
Just fucking
200
killing it this year.
200
Everyone pay
point-
attention when he gives you his
200 point threshold, which not easy to do.
And who was your big guy last week?
Last week was Jameer Gibbs.
Jameer Gibbs.
He put up like 50 something.
Crazy.
So yeah, he was great. All right. I mean, again, like I've said, I don't ever do my real lineup on the show because I just kind of freeball it. But this is what I have so far, and I always do submit these lineups. But this is just a rough draft for me. Okay, so week 13, I have who did we just talk about? Sam Darnold, 5,600. The revenge game against the Vikings at home.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I think I think he proves them wrong, and will crush them. I think he will make them pay for what they did because what they did was wrong. So I have Sam Darnold there in the revenge game. I have Travis Etienne at 6,500 against the Titans. I talked about him earlier. I really like the matchup there. I think they run the ball more, the Jags, so I like Etienne there. My second running back is Jaylen Warren, a.k.a. the Apex Predator, at 6,300 versus the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have like a really poor rushing defense, a.k.a. week 1 versus the Ravens. Derrick Henry lost in the game, but he was baller there, so I'm going with Jaylen Warren at 6,300. My wide receivers, I have Lad McConkey at 6,300 versus the poor, terrible Las Vegas Raiders. Need I say more? Khalil Shakir, 5,500 against the Steelers. I really like Shakir with this matchup. Like I said, if Keon Coleman plays, I think he'll do much better. So I like that matchup there. Next, I have Michael Wilson. He at 5,900. He goes up against the Bucks away. I mean, he's been balling without Marvin Harrison Jr., which is like crazy to me because let's be honest, you compare the talent of both of them. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. is better, but it's like, how can they get Michael Wilson the ball and not Marv? It just doesn't really add up to me. I don't know. It's weird. Next, I have Dalton Kincaid at 4,500. I know he's questionable here, so obviously I'll take this with a grain of salt. But he goes up against the Steelers as well. I know a lot of Bills and Steelers here, but I think that's a good matchup for Kincaid. Pittsburgh is not good against the tight end, and I think that's a good deal for Kincaid at 4,500. My flex I saved up and got Emeka Egbuka At 6,500 against the Cardinals at home, he's just balling. So can't can't go against that there. And at a cheap 2,900, the Texans defense against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking that all day because I think the
Wow.
Texans defense. I think they ball out, and I think they win that game with Davis Mills.
Wow.
Kamesh, what do you got?
Well, I have a bonus DFS line. I have two. I have our regular one, which I'll get to, but I'm going to give you a Thanksgiving Day DraftKings special lineup just for Thanksgiving Day. Okay, I'm going with Mr. Patrick Mahomes, 6,500 goes up against Dallas at Dallas. Right now, the Chiefs are in a must-win kind of situation to get to the playoffs, right? And Dallas, they really actually stink. So I think Mahomes is going to do some good there for sure. Derrick Henry at home against the Bengals. I mean, come on. You can run all over the Bengals. 7,300. That's a must start there. I don't know that Josh Jacobs comes back this week. It's a short week. My feeling is they're going to let it ride because of the success Manny Wilson had last week with the 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to go Manny Wilson here. I'm obviously going to check before Thanksgiving, the injury report will change that out if he's not going to play. But at 5,800, I like the play there at the running back position. CD Lamb, rough game last week against the Birds. I think he does bounce back. You can pass the ball on the Chiefs. I think a lot of attention is going to be to George Pickens. And at 6,900, I think he's actually underpriced here. Rashee Rice should feast on Dallas at 7,500. Mahomes got to throw the ball to somebody, and that's the guy he loves to throw the ball to, clearly, out of everybody on that team. Jameson Williams puts up a big fat 0 last week. That's crazy to me. Well, guess what? Detroit's home. That's where they generally play well. And I don't think the coach is going to let it happen again if Jamie doesn't get a catch. So at 4,800, I'm starting Jameson Williams. At the tight end position, you mentioned at the top of the show, T. Higgins is out this week with a concussion. Mike Gesicki should be a good target in there with the return of Burrow, and he's only priced at 3,100. He's very well underpriced, and Baltimore is very susceptible to the at the tight end position there, so he should do well. Got a lot of Chiefs here. At flex, I'm going Kareem Hunt. Man, you get close to the goal line, you're just handing the ball to Kareem Hunt, and he gets in the end zone. I have him at flex at 5,300. I think he's a great start there. And then finally, at 2,800, at defense, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Chiefs find a way to prevail here for sure against Dallas. Now, that is my Thanksgiving Day special DFS lineup. I also put together our regular lineup. I like Bo Nix. I talked about that at the top of the show, right? He's a must start. He's a must start for me in DFS play. Coming off a bye, it's Sunday Night Football. And I also like to stack your Bo Nix to Franklin, by the way, right? At the wide receiver position. Running back, I like Bijan. He is the guy, man. At the Jets are basically playing for draft picks at this point. I think Bijan has a game here and needs to have a game because the quarterback position is so poor right now, right? Tyrone Tracy, I'm sticking with him. He's only 5,600. Again, he's Monday Night Football, and there's no Milton Williams. I'm doubling down on Tyrone Tracy. I already mentioned Troy Franklin, receivers. I'm going Ted McMillan, 6,100 at home against the Rams. Look, Rams have a tough defense, but you can pass on them for sure, right? And that's the only way I think Carolina's going to be able to move the ball on the Rams, just passing it. And it's going to be Tedder McMillan. He's a beast. Jacoby Myers on the road against Tennessee, 5,700. I mean, the guy is he's a great player. It was a great pickup for them and much needed pickup for them. And I think he has continued success this week. I'm going back to the well. I had Hunter Henry last week. I got Hunter Henry again. He's only 4,400. How is that even possible? He is at home on Monday Night Football against the Giants, right? they have a hell of a pass rush, the New York Giants, which means the QB is going to have to get out of his hands quick, and I mean Hunter Henry has a game here for sure. At my flex, I'm reaching a little deep, but I'm liking it. Rashid Shaheed, he is at home against the Vikings, and as you said, Darnold has to throw the ball to somebody. Obviously, it's a lot of JSN, but I think Shaheed could get into the mix here at 4,500. That's a bargain, right? And finally, I got the Rams. Rams defense at 3,800. They're playing some pretty good ball here. So I think you can get some. Bryce Young will throw a few picks. Maybe we could pick up a couple sacks. I think they're a good play here at DFS, man. And that's what I got.
All right. Before we go into our sleeper/long shot segment, you are listening to us on Cruise 92.1 WVLT Vineland, and you're listening to us live here on YouTube. All right, Kamish, let's get into it. This week, I think I don't even remember who I have. Let's see who I put down here. I went with Xavier Restrepo as my complete long shot this week. He had his first ever NFL game this past Sunday. He caught 2 balls from Cam Ward. If you don't know, Xavier Restrepo was Cam Ward's number 1 wide receiver when they were in college at Miami, and Restrepo was an undrafted free agent. He didn't make the team. He made the practice squad. Last week, he was elevated to the main roster because of Calvin Ridley's injury, and he caught 2 balls. And I think within either this week or next week, he might actually be someone we might be talking about as fantasy viable. So that is my long shot this week. Kamish, what do you got?
Guess who I got? Darren Waller. He is back. He has a great schedule ahead of him. Okay. The Saints. Then you got the Jets. Then you got the Steelers. I mean, I think it's Tennessee after that, and then the Bucks. So I think he's a great sleeper. No one's thinking about him, looking at him because he's about 87 years old, but the guy catches balls, and guess what? He's targeted heavily in the end zone. So to me, Darren Waller is a guy you pick him up and start him. That's my sleeper of the week.
All right. It is Tuesday. That means that you're going to want to pick up some guys off the waiver wire. Kamish, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. No problem. Okay. I believe I had him on this list last week. I'm looking. I did. I'm keeping him on there so just to really push this thought through. Christian Watson has to be picked up. He's got 45 receiving yards in each of his 5 games back. He's clearly the deep threat for Jordan Love. If he is out there, he's an absolute waiver pickup for sure. I really like him. I also really like Jaden Higgins this week. 7+ targets and 4 receptions in 4 of his last 5 games. He's got a great schedule ahead. He's had 13 fantasy points 3 of his last 5 games, plus 3 touchdowns in the last 5 games, and he is leading the team in end zone targets. So Higgins is man. Hopefully you got him in Dynasty because this guy is clearly the future, and he's an absolute beast. We talk about this a lot. Running backs are very hard to get, right? Hard to find. They kind of dried up quick, even in the draft. So when I throw out these names, you should really pay attention, especially this deep in the season. I mean, we're at week 13, and then it's 14, and then week 15 starts the playoff. So if you're, I know I'm in one league. Man, I pulled out a win last night. I had in my lineup, I had the Niners D go against Brock Purdy, and I was up 18, and Purdy threw 3 picks, only 1 touchdown, and Niners D came up huge. I ended up pulling out, which gave me an opportunity with 2 games left. The guy I played this week He's one game ahead of me in my division. I beat him. I'm killing him well over 150 more points scored. I beat him. I go number one in the division, and I should make the playoffs, which I've been not even in the playoff conversation the whole year with that certain team. So anyway, my point is running backs are very tough. I went very wide receiver heavy in that league, and of course that's the one league I've been struggling with. Chris Rodriguez if he's out there, he is the best option in the backfield for the Commanders. He certainly has emerged. He has a great emergence as the lead back here. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's a good 3-down back. Like I've been saying all year, Bill is a jag, right? Just a guy. So Rodriguez, if he's out there, great pickup this week on waivers. Here's sort of a stash and hope guy, Malik Davis. He is the backup running back for Javonte Williams in Dallas. I'm not sure what's going on with Jane Blue, but he's been healthy scratch like almost every week here. It's crazy. But Malik Davis has had 10 plus snaps the last 2 weeks. He's a good sort of stash and hope guy, and he's a good handcuff to Javonte if you have Javonte. So I just thought I'd throw his name in there. I mentioned at the top of the show when you were going over the injuries, Matt, about Ashton Genty. There's a chance he misses this week. So if he does, the guy you want to pick up is Raheem Mostert. Um, I would say because Mostert was a guy they went after with this coaching staff, and this coaching staff wasn't left with because Zamir White's there. I forget who the other guy is, but Mostert I think is a guy could possibly get you 20 carries this week for sure. With if Genty's out of the picture. So again, with this pickup, you really got to take a look at the injury report and see if that makes sense for your team. But I do like him. And finally, I mentioned him in my DFS lineup, Mike Gesicki at tight end. With no T. Higgins this week, he's out, as you said, Matt, with the concussion. How about this crazy weird stat? You know how they always, when we're watching football, they have these goofy stats. Well, here's a goofy stat for you. When either Jamar Chase is out of the lineup or T. Higgins is out of the lineup, he averages about 7 targets a game and close to 70 yards receiving when one of them are not in the lineup. So, hey, statistics don't lie, right? So if that's the case, I think he's a great pickup if you need help at the tight end position this week. That's what I got. What do you got there, Matt?
All right. Well, I have the pickup of the week, and that is Devin Neal. Like I said earlier at the top of the show, Alvin Kamara had a knee injury, and people are kind of freaking out because from what I've read, it could be a 1 to 2 week deal. It could be a 4 to 6 week deal, which would basically shoot him out of the season. So I'm banking on maybe it's a more serious injury than they're making it out to be, and I'm blanking on who the Saints are playing this week, but I think that Devin Neal, could help you win a playoff game or two, because if Alvin Kamara is not playing, to my understanding, I talked about this last week, the Saints have an excellent playoff schedule for running backs. So Devin Neal is a great pickup for you this week.
And it might be someone they're looking at for next year too. So they may want to give him the time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
with Kamara out,
so for sure.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Devin Neal, a great pickup there. Next, I did it. I went with Mitch Tinsley, the wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. He had 6 targets, 2 catches, 29 yards, and that touchdown that you went, who the heck is this guy? Mitch Tinsley. You won't forget his name now. Let's see. ESPN says 0.2% rostered. You just never know.
That's the guy.
I mean, now
that should be your sleeper pick of the week for sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, T. Higgins is out. Like the commish said, obviously Mike Gesicki is probably going to get a lot more targets, but you just never know. Andre Yoshivas was a complete disappointment this past week. I think everyone knows that. But this Mike Tinsley guy coming out of nowhere, I like him, and that's one of my pickups. So check him out. He's definitely a good DFS long shot for sure. So you just
For
never
sure.
know. I also have Trey Benson. I believe he's coming back healthy, to my understanding. So I know the commission doesn't like him, but he's also a highly touted guy to get this week. Defenses, I have the Texans defense, obviously, from what I've talked about, and I have the Chargers defense because they play the terrible Raiders this week. So those are my pickups this week.
Great stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about the buy low, sell high. I mean, at this point, it's really just like this is the trade deadline in most leagues. I have 2, 3 probably tomorrow at 12. So this is probably your last chance to go and get a guy with a great playoff schedule. So, Kamish, what do you got for me?
All right, my buy low guy is Devonta Smith. Now, before you overreact on that, there's been all this talk with AJ Brown, and obviously this last game they fed AJ Brown the ball, right? And he beasted out. He did really well. Devonta not so well, right? So I think if there's any chance to get Devonta Smith before the trade deadline, now's the time because guess what? The kid is a baller and would be a number one on any other team for sure without AJ Brown. So that's my buy low guy. My sell high guy, I'm going Caleb Williams here. He's been playing really well, crazy. Man, he gets out of some stuff that looks like he's going to get sacked, and he just finds a way. I've been really impressed, but I also looked at his up and coming schedule. This week on Black Friday, they're playing. Well, I'll be working, so I'm really excited about that. They're playing the Birds. That's tough. That's tough, man. A tough matchup. After that, he's got the Packers. Then he's got the Browns. Then he has to play the Packers again. Very tough schedule. So to me, if you see someone that is maybe has a Brock Purdy who just had a horrible game, I would go trade Caleb Williams now straight up for Brock Purdy because Purdy's got a great schedule and he is going to get out of his little funk. I mean, he was clearly rusty last night, right? So Caleb Williams, that's a guy I think you should sell high. Who do you got there, man?
All right, so I'm doing what I did last week. Last week I gave you running backs to sell and to go get because they have great playoff schedules. This week I'm going with the wide receivers. So to buy low, you're going to want to go get the Niners receivers, meaning Ricky Pearsall or Juwan Jennings. Deebo Samuel, in my opinion, I don't really care about Terry McLaurin. I mean, unless he just shocks everyone in the playoffs. I mean, that would be insane. But I think Deebo should. I'm also putting in my mind that Jaden Daniels probably plays. Hopefully, he plays. If not, then I see this as a wash because I just don't see Mariota really helping the Commanders wide receivers. But for now, I'm going to say Deebo. Jalen Waddle is a great playoff schedule. Like the commissioner was talking about, AJ Brown or Devonta Smith, they both have great playoff schedules, and so does the Vikings wide receivers, the Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Now, I mean, that one's tougher because of the quarterback play at 9, aka JJ McCarthy. I mean, the past couple of weeks, it's just been like, what is going on? I read a stat, talk about goofy stats. I don't remember the exact timeline or whatever the stat was, but it was probably over a good amount of time. And he's graded as the second to worst. And the one below him was Jamarcus Russell. So that just tells you how bad JJ McCarthy's been. It's not great. Not good at all. But he does have Justin Jefferson, and he is a baller. So sometimes it's the wide receiver that just makes it count. So those are some great wide receiver schedules for you. Go and target those guys, and if you're planning on making the playoffs, I would go try to get those guys and try to win a championship. Guys that you do not want on your team come playoffs are the following: Brian Thomas Jr. Obviously, he's not having a great season, but he has a terrible playoff schedule. Get rid of him. Trey Tucker. I mean, this one I feel like is a lot more easier to get rid of because he's on the Raiders. But yeah, it's that the schedule's not good there. Same with Chimmery DK. Not a good schedule. The Broncos, Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin. I know Troy Franklin's been balling for me, but I'm willing to give him up for one of the guys I talked about earlier. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy. They both don't have great schedules. They play tough teams. As much as we look at all these things, I mean, it doesn't guarantee you production. It doesn't guarantee you points, but it's something you can look at and say, okay, this is a favorable matchup. This guy can go off, and it can either happen or not. But hopefully, you have guys on your team that are able to go through a tough matchup and put up some points. So yeah, those are my buy low, sell highs. Good luck to everyone in the playoffs, because it's not going to be easy, It's not going to be easy. It's going to be crazy. All right, so we have Thanksgiving coming up Thursday, so that's very exciting. We have three games. Packers Lions. That's right. And no, yeah, you're right. And then the Ravens and the Bengals there. So, well, the first thing I have for us is who wins each game. I picked the Packers over the Lions, Chiefs over Dallas, and the Ravens over the Bengals. Commish, it looks like you did the same thing. Huh.
We're in full agreement.
Wow.
Packers. The thing with the Packers, I know they're
You say that, and my morale was that, like, well, I mean, we just watched the Giants put up a heck of a game. Jameis Winston, unfortunately, of course, they lost, but they just put up a game on that Lions defense, and it's like, and I know that the last time they played the Packers was week 1, and everyone was shocked that the Packers beat them, but it was because of their defense. And the Lions defense this whole year has just been obliterated. So I think that, and what's crazy to me is that this is at home now for Detroit, which we all know Jared Goff plays better in, but it's crazy. The Packers are not the favored. They're the underdog in this game.
Wow, I would take the Packers.
Yeah, I think
we do a 3-leg parlay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
think the Packers. Yeah, the Packers. I think were like plus 130. So I was like, okay,
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. Okay,
yeah, and then I'm pretty sure the Chiefs were favored and the Ravens were favored because the Ravens. I mean, that Bengals defense is just non-existent, really. So there's that. All right, I put here who scores on the day. And I have Jahmyr Gibbs, Kareem Hunt, and Derrick Henry. Those are my 3 guys that I have scoring. Who do you have?
I like the Gibbs for sure, but I also got Jameson Williams, right? Again, I said it earlier. I don't see them allowing him to put up a 0 again, especially at home. I think they're going to have plays for him, and I think he's going to get into the end zone. I just know it. I even like that as a bet because I didn't look up what the bet is, but the odds got to be pretty good because of his performance last week.
Mhm.
I also have Christian Watson. Again, deep threat. I'm not really too worried about the Lions' defense. I think Watson can get behind in a corner and get into the end zone. CeeDee Lamb, I think, is going to have a bounce back from a kind of a tough game he had last week.
5 drops, I'm pretty sure.
What's that?
He had 5 drops.
Yeah, 5 drops.
Yeah.
Right? I don't see that happening again.
No.
Mark Andrews, man, for the Ravens, I
like
think
that.
he gets into the end zone.
I like that.
I mean, he. I think he seems to be a guy that does get toward the end zone and makes it happen. Of course, you got to have Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, you get anywhere close, they just give the ball to Henry, and they just keep doing it until he gets in. So he had 2 touchdowns just like that last week. there's no reason why I can't do it again this week. And I said it again earlier in the show, but Kareem Hunt, same kind of thing. The guy, you need 2-3 yards to get that first down. Put Kareem Hunt in, he gets it. You're 2-3 yards away from getting in the end zone. Give it to Kareem Hunt. The guy finds a way to score. So that's why I like. So a lot of good touchdown scorers, and all I got to wait. I know they have those prop bets that are available out there. These are really good prop bets. I'm certainly going to be looking really hard at for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have who throws more passing yards in each game. I have Goff, Dak Prescott, and Lamar Jackson. You have everyone else.
Well, I mean, I really, really like Mahomes here against that Dallas secondary. I think he's actually been playing really well, a lot better than expected. And I just think he's going to be putting up some big numbers of everyone, honestly. Jordan Love, also, I think that's going to have to be a bit of a passing kind of a game. I think we'll see some good back and forth here, and I think Love will put up more yardage than Goff, which is crazy, but that's what I believe. And then Burrow is back. Ravens defense isn't all that good, and he has Jamar Chase. He doesn't have Higgins, but he'll be throwing that ball to Chase. He'll be throwing it to Gesicki, and your guy, what's his name? Tinsley, whatever the hell his name is, and Chase Brown out of the backfield. Boom. So I think Burrow will put up some numbers because he almost started last week and they kept him out. So he's itching to get on the field and do some big things. So that's kind of how I see that going.
I mean, the way I looked at it was I think Goff's playing from behind. I think Dak's playing from behind. So I think they get more. And then Jackson is because I just think the Bengals defense is just they don't show up. So
right.
That's why I picked those guys. Most rushing yards on the day, I went with Derrick Henry because, like I said earlier, that Bengals defense is just they're not good. I mean, the Bengals are 3 and forever, so yeah. I mean, it's just it's not a good defense, and Derrick Henry is touted to have a great game this Thursday. So
I like Derrick Henry as well. Now, if it was overall yards, I'd probably be Gibbs if we included receiving yards. I think he has the most overall yards for a running back. But pure rushing, I would definitely give the nod to Henry because, man, at any time you can hand that ball off and he just goes. As long as he gets the blocking man guy.
We could be sleeping on Gibbs too. You never know.
Yeah. I think it's close.
Yeah.
But I'd give the nod to Henry.
Yeah,
sure.
Gibbs is coming off like a 250-yard game, so we're crazy. Lastly, but that Packers defense is pretty good. I mean, it's not the Bengals defense, So
right.
Who has the most fantasy points on Thanksgiving? I mean, this one was tough, but I'm going with Jamar Chase. I could totally be completely wrong. He could put up 2 points. But I think with Joe Burrow being back, I think he's gonna want to throw it to his boy. So I like Jamar Chase to score the most fantasy points on Thanksgiving against that Ravens defense.
I don't. The thing is, I think for a wide receiver, Jamar Chase, hands down. I mean, it's close between him and maybe Rice, maybe I'm gonna say Brown, but I do like Chase there. But overall yards, I'm sticking with Gibbs. I mean, he's running the ball, he's catching the ball. It seems like Montgomery isn't really eating too much in his time as he once was. There isn't the big split as they used to have there. So I'm going Gibbs because I think he gets in the end zone. I think he could put up 100 rushing and, man, easy 40, 50 yards receiving and, maybe 5, 6 catches out of the backfield, So the guy's a weapon. By the way, I turned down a trade for Gibbs. Maybe I'm crazy for doing it, but let me run this by you while we're talking about Gibbs, if you don't mind. So I was offered Gibbs. I had to give up. See, I just felt like I was giving up too much. I had to give up Bucky Irving, I had to give up Christian Watson. No. I'm sorry, Bucky Irving, Dobbs, and not one other player. I mean, I got to look them up because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't. So bear with me.
No problem. Take your time.
Let me see. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Gibbs. That's the other thing. Gibbs has that's another guy that has a bad playoff schedule. So I mean, in redraft, I would consider trading Gibbs, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it in the end. I mean, he's been balling out, but let's look at.
Oh, here it is. I got it. All right, so I was offered. Here it is. Oh, I had to give up. Was it Dobbs? I'm sorry. It was Bucky Irving. It was Jaden Reed and George Pickens, and I would get Gibbs. I don't know. I think Bucky Irving's back this week. Jaden Reed could be back in a week or two.
It's tough
I
to
think he
give
can
up
help
George
me.
Pickens.
Yeah, George Pickens he's a baller.
He just had the game of his life.
To a long-term deal.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I love Gibbs. Believe me.
Is this a redraft or is this dynasty?
This is a dynasty league. I feel like I'm giving away too much because it's a dynasty, right?
Not worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Right. That's right. So that was a good rejection.
You were giving a.
By the way, that was with the doctor offered me that.
For real, Jeff Hathcock offered you.
Yeah.
Wait, what was you were giving up a running back as well?
Yeah, I was giving up Bucky Irving.
Oh, okay.
Jade Reed and Pickens.
Yeah,
and he's but I'll give you Gibbs. I'm like, no, it's too much.
I would say it's a fair offer. I would know. You know,
someone that doesn't.
Is it though?
Fantasy.
I mean, it's probably not. It's probably more favored your way because of Pickens. But
right.
I would do Bucky Irving and Reed for Gibbs. I think that's more fair, and maybe a pick or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But very interesting.
Crazy, right?
All right. I was gonna start the "Who Should I Start" segment here.
All right, yeah, let's go.
So I have a whole bunch of "Who Should I Start." I just had them on my screen. Hold on one second. Oh, here we go. Okay. So who are you starting? Jacoby Brissett or Bo Nix?
Oh, wow.
Brissett plays the Bucks.
What's that?
Brissett plays the Bucks. Nix
right.
plays who does he play? Let's see. I should know this. He plays the Commanders. I mean, that's
yeah.
But the Bucks defense,
and he's coming off the bye.
He's also going off the bye. You're right.
Right.
You're right. I mean, I would say that is close, but man, I don't know. I would probably go Bo Nix because coming off a bye,
right?
And it's Sunday Night Football.
And it's Sunday Night Football, right? The guys get up for it, man. Yeah, so. They want to showcase their stuff because they know everyone's watching.
That's right. That's right. Who would you start? Brenton Strange or Kate Otten?
Wow, I'm going Strange here all day. He came back like he didn't miss a beat last week. He scored like 14, 15 fantasy points, something like that. And he's playing the Titans. Yeah, Brenton Strange.
Yeah.
He's catching 5-6 balls. He hasn't gotten the damn end zone, but he's due.
No.
He's due. Yeah.
Who are you starting, Emeka Egbuka or Tet McMillan?
Oof, man, Ibuka's home. But you know what? I saw Mayfield in a sling. He hurt his shoulder after the game.
Oh, right. That's true. I forgot about that.
Right?
Yeah, so Teddy Bridgewater.
He's probably going to play because we'll shoot him up with a little compound V. But I'm going Ted McMillan here, man. I'm just
against the Rams.
Yeah, because you can pass with the Rams.
Bryce Young against the Rams. Yikes.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned about the injury with Mayfield.
You don't trust Teddy Bridgewater? That's their guy.
No, he's backup listener if you watch the commercials.
Hey, man, I mean, I don't know. That one's probably close, but yeah, I'd probably get Ted McMillan there. All right, let's see what else we got. This one's kind of funny, but it's also kind of true. Kyle Monangai or DeAndre Swift.
Oh man, the thing is, Monangai is clearly the future,
Mm-hmm.
and he seems to get the damn goal line
Work
carries.
third down, maybe.
Third down work. But man, Swift is running the ball. He's catching the ball.
Yeah.
I'm probably sticking with Swift for now.
Mm-hmm.
Swift for now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I
about you? What
think
do you think?
I think I agree there. I think as much as I feel like Swift's just had like a weird year. I mean,
Plus, it's a revenge game for Swift this week.
is it? Oh, it is a revenge game for Swift.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Playing
Jeez,
the Birds.
play
Right.
first.
Yeah.
Rondé Gadsden or Colston Loveland? The Chargers
Wow.
play the Raiders, Bears, Birds. So
Yeah, I'm going Gadsden. I
think
think
I'd
he's
get
got the
Gadsden.
easier matchup for sure.
But I just
Right.
something
I mean,
about that
Loveland's on fire. Right. I mean, the guy's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
beast.
for sure.
He's getting you 14, 15
For
fantasy
sure.
points
Finally,
a
I
week.
mean, it took
Finally,
a couple,
right.
couple of weeks.
And guess what? The coach was quoted as saying they're going to be playing their best football late in the season. And yeah,
Right, but I don't
I've
know.
seen
It's
it.
just interesting.
We're seeing better play out of his guys.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
You'll like this one. Jameson Williams or Christian Watson.
Oh, wow.
And they play each other.
Yeah, I know. I'm going JMO, man. I'm
Why?
going JMO. I like JMO. I think they're not going to let this guy fail 2 weeks in a row. And I think there'll be a focus on that. And again, I like Watson this week, but there are a lot of targets on that team, right?
That's
You
true.
got Dobbs, you got Savion Williams.
But the Lions defense is worse.
Yeah.
Lions defense is not as good as that Packers defense.
Right, that's true.
That was close.
True.
I mean, that one's definitely close. I feel like I just like the matchup in Watson more, honestly.
Right.
Michael Wilson or Troy Franklin?
Ooh. Michael Wilson is so good. He's just putting it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Troy Franklin this week, I think, has the game coming off the bye. I like the matchup. Bo Nix is going to be throwing him the ball. He looks for him like that's his guy.
Right.
I'm going Troy Franklin. I've been touting him like this whole show, so I'm gonna probably stick with that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. Depending on,
I told you to start him last week.
It depends on whether or not Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing. If he is playing, I would go Franklin.
Yeah, right.
And if
Marvin's playing,
maybe you go Wilson.
Right.
We got a question here.
Okay.
We got Chase, 9-3, 12-team PPR. Use your on Devin Neal. I was just talking about him earlier. Saving case, right. He has Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Jamar Chase, Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, DJ Moore, George Kittle, Sharps, and Trey Benson. Yeah, I would do that. I would. I was talking about Devin Neal earlier. We just don't know the severity of Alvin Kamara's knee just yet, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like we don't have a definitive answer. So you might as well go get Devin Neal. The Saints have a great playoff schedule for the running back. So,
and Chris Rodriguez, I would back him. I would put him right in there too, because he is the starter. He is the guy. Devin Neal, I think, will be the guy.
Benson. That's good.
What's that?
He has Trey Benson too.
Yeah, Trey Benson. Okay.
I mean,
but if you don't get Neal, Rodriguez or Rodriguez first, Neal second. But I like both of those guys.
Yeah.
This week.
Yeah, the Commanders have a great playoff schedule too. So.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Chase. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
All right. Let's do one more, and that'll be it. All right. Would you rather start Justin Jefferson or Quinshon Judkins?
Ooh.
Again, another close one. So Jefferson plays Seattle away, and Judkins plays the Niners at home.
Yeah.
I feel like they're both tough defenses there.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Judkins because I think the
Wow.
guy can get into the end
Because
zone.
it's J.J. McCarthy. That's why.
Yeah, because AJ McCarthy's terrible.
I mean, he's got
He's not he's
to
not
figure
ready
it
for
out.
prime time,
He's got
man.
to
He's
figure it
not.
out.
I'll
And
be the first to admit I was wrong. I was big high on him
you were so
early in the
wrong.
year,
I'm gonna
and
make a
he's just
TikTok of you, and
yeah,
it's gonna
he's not
play. It's gonna play the
he's
Larry
not ready
David
for
music
prime time.
after you say he's a top 12 quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Oh
bad.
man. I
Yeah.
guess I was trying to manifest it,
Yeah,
but it
you
just
were.
didn't
You were
work out.
projecting, man. You were
I was
projecting.
projecting. But you know
Yeah.
what? Judkins, I
Top
think
12
that's easy. I
quarterback.
think you got to
Oof.
go Judkins all day long for sure.
I think I would go Justin Jefferson. Call me
Really?
crazy. I think I'm going Justin Jefferson there. Yeah.
Wow.
The
Okay.
over under in that game is higher. Yeah, I just think. I mean, listen, you just never know what JJ McCarthy you're going to get, and one day he's going to wake up feeling dangerous. One day he's going to wake up not feeling so good. So that's
Right.
it. That's
Right.
that's what it is. All right,
All right.
I think that'll end it here on this show. And remember, if you're not playing fantasy football, you're probably trying to invest in AI. Have a good one, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at KAF Football.